Hey, what's going on, guys? Just got back from the gym and got a little bite to eat. And for all you cereal lovers out there, got a little bit of peanut butter crunch here, 10 grams per serving. Pretty good stuff, try it out. But anyway, this is another how-to tutorial kind of video for beginners. And if you are a beginner, hopefully you can take something away from this that's useful. But it's a bench press video with back accessories. So anyway, let's get right into it. The first thing I want to go over on the bench press is getting set up. I'm going to show you two different ways to get set up and then the way that I do it. The first way that I see a lot of people do it is they'll actually use the structure of the bench to kind of get themselves into position, create an arch, in between their ass and their shoulder blades. And you want that arch because you want your chest to be the highest part of your body. And then they'll kind of roll their shoulder blades in together. And here's the second setup. Now this setup here, people still use the structure of the bench to still kind of roll their shoulder blades into position. And they won't immediately set their ass down because they feel like the arch is a little uncomfortable. They wait till they're ready to start the lift before they sit down, and then they get their footing right. Now this is the way that I do it. It may look a little goofy, but it works for me. What I like to do is start with my face and my eyes way behind the bar. And then I'll establish my grip, which I use my ring fingers on the line. And then I'll kind of roll into position, and that creates a really good arch. And the next thing that you want to do is, once you got the weight unracked, you definitely want to make sure you're stable and solid on the bench. You don't want to be wiggling around or anything, so don't start the descent as soon as the bar is unracked. And another thing that I like to do too is I like to imagine I'm trying to bend the bar kind of towards my feet. Like I'm trying to bend the bar into a horseshoe shape. I know it's not possible, but that's what I kind of think of in my mind. That gets my elbows into a good position. You want your elbows in almost on like a 45-degree angle. Now, if you're doing this for bodybuilding, yeah, you might want to have your elbows flared out a little more and target your chest muscles more, but that's not really optimal for maximum power on the bench press. Now, the sets that I have playing here during this recording is my warm-up sets. And I like to take a good time to warm up. I always warm up with the bar first. Just take your time before you start doing anything heavy. Make sure your joints and everything is warmed up. I usually do 135, 185, 225, and right before I get into my working sets. Now in this program, I was actually supposed to do 5 sets at 80%, which, I don't know, I think it was 275, that's what I did, but I want to throw around a little more weight today, so I actually went for a top heavy set. This is a double with 315, and then I just did 4 sets of 275 after that. And another thing too, guys, is I'm doing most of this stuff without a spotter, and I've been doing this a while, and I'm pretty comfortable with a lot of the things that I'm doing. So if you're really new to this, or if you're going for something that you're not really sure if you're going to get all your reps, or if you're just not going to get it at all, definitely ask somebody. In any gym, I mean, you can see in this video, there's people around, and nobody cares to spot anyone. And the main thing is doing everything safe, because if you really want to make gains and you want to do this stuff long term, you can't really make any gains if you're injured. So always be safe out there, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna let these sets play out, and I'll be back with y'all in a minute. All right, guys, there is one workout that I was going to do that is not shown in the video. which leads me to my next point. I was going to do close grip bench. And this is something that's not talked about very often, but always be kind, nice, respectful, courteous of others, because there was a guy, he'd been waiting through all my working sets to use the bench, so I decided to be nice and skip the close grip bench and let him get on with his workout. So just always be nice, guys. All right, guys, getting into the first accessory. I did back with this chest day, but anyway, we did lat pull downs. And as I'm getting seated here, I'll slow it down for y'all. The first thing I do is engage my lats. I just pull my lats straight down without actually pulling with my arms yet before I actually start to do the actual lat pull down. Now, the position that I try to get in here is I try to put a slight arch in my back just so my chin and my head is out of the way, but I try to stay in an upright position. And when you engage your lats, it's going to keep constant tension on your lats the entire lift. So even when you pause at the top, like, you're still tension on your lats. And I like to go down kind of explosive and then up slow and just keep that constant tension. Now on this accessory, I did 3 sets of 15. Okay, this next exercise that we're going to do here, I believe is called a Pendlay row. And I like these because they do train your back, but they're beneficial in other ways too. Like here you can see me getting set up in my deadlift form, which, you know, that's another repetition of getting set up. And I'll do a double overhand, that's the only thing different from my deadlift. And then I do kind of like a quarter rep of a deadlift. And then the whole time I'm bracing and I'm working on my brace, you know, keeping my core tight and, you know, kind of expanding, you know, throughout my diaphragm laterally. So you're working your back and your brace here, which I think is more beneficial than just doing a chest supported row, because, you know, you're working, you know, 3 or 4 things at once. And I also did 3 sets of 10 on that as well. Now this workout here, this is a unique one, and it's something that I found when I was getting really into boxing there for a while. And one of the things that's really important if you're doing any type of combat sport, which I think that this is also beneficial for powerlifting as well, is your dynamic trunk control. So I wanted to do a 1-arm row to kind of finish things off, but see how I'm kind of supporting myself with my forearm, and I'm trying to keep everything level and even, trying to keep a flat back. I'm bracing the whole time, engaging my core, and you can feel this really good in your core muscles as well as your back. And, you know, if you're into bodybuilding and stuff too, like, this could be beneficial because you can really feel it in your obliques. But anyway, on this particular exercise, I did 3 sets of 10, and it's 10 reps each arm. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and if you are a beginner lifter, hopefully you learned something from this. And like I mentioned in the video, just be safe, because if you're injured, you're not going to be able to make any gains. But, you know, if you're a beginner, follow this workout and I'm sure you'll make some gains. And anyway, if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, you know, put a comment down below, and I'll see y'all on the next one.